Okay, I got the results for May 2025 from my Energea investment. I'm super excited about this. Now, Energea is the company that takes investment from small investors and puts them all together to buy small to medium sized solar farms. They're called commercial scale. Different countries. They do have a North America portfolio, but the returns are much better for their Brazil and South Africa portfolios for a variety of reasons. But the point is, you can spend the same amount of money in Brazil and get more environmental impact than you could by putting it just on your own house in the US. So I'm very excited about it. Here we go. So this is for May of 2025. We have 68,000 roughly invested. And the way it works is every month you'll get a dividend, which this month was $270.77. And you also get an adjustment to the market value of your investment. In months where there's a slightly lower than expected dividend, your market value will actually go up. And then if the dividend is higher than the average projected dividend for the month, then it will adjust the market value down a little bit. And all that means is that you get a very level return over the years instead of spiking up and down a little bit. So they kind of do this to make the investment a little bit more predictable and easier for, I guess, people like me to stomach when the dividends are not as consistent as you might like, which they're still pretty high. I think 270 out of, let's see, 270 out of 68,000 is annually is roughly, it's 4.7%. Okay, so it's still pretty good, but you get this bonus of $463 added to your principal. Internal rate of return, 12.9%. Sounds very good. I'm just a few months into it. As you can see, I just put the money in late February. Most of it came in late February, so we're just tracking it and seeing how it goes. So far, I'm very happy with it. If you want to invest, the minimum investment is only $100. So you can get started and see for yourself how it goes. But I'm super excited for this because it's doing good in the world. I think it's a way to leverage this company, which they have experience in and relationships with people in Brazil, which they've decided is one of the most profitable places to put solar right now. And me personally, I don't care where the solar goes. I want the solar to go in a place where it's going to do the most good for the world. So that generally means where it's the cheapest to install. And I've been learning a lot about this stuff. And, the US unfortunately just has so many regulations around building solar that it artificially increases the price of installation. So, for example, if you were to buy a solar system on your rooftop in the US, you're looking at roughly $3 per watt. The exact same system installed in another country like Australia is closer to $1 per watt. Exact same system. The only difference is how much you pay for labor and all the hoops that they have to jump through, all the regulatory things that they have to account for in order to connect that system to the grid. If you're going to invest a certain amount of money, you want that to build as many solar panels as possible, which means putting it in somewhere other than the US. Okay, the number of solar panels that you can put into operation is much higher in Brazil than the US for the same amount of investment dollars. And by virtue of that, you also do get a better return on the investment. And more importantly, you do better for the environment. Also, the energy source that you are replacing matters too, because in the US, in some states in the US, we're starting to reach saturation of solar where adding more solar doesn't really get its full effectiveness because we actually generate more energy than we need during the daytime, and some of that doesn't get used. So putting it in a place like a third world country where they actually use a lot of dirtier fuels for heating and stuff, you're replacing those much, much worse sources of energy, which a lot of people don't know this, but air quality is a huge cause of death. Millions of people every year die because they are using things like kerosene and lower quality heating oils to heat their houses or to cook food and things like that. So those things give off carcinogens that are horrible for you to breathe in, and they're doing it inside their house, right? To heat the house, they have to burn some kind of fuel, and that's just horrible for your health. And if they are able to replace that with electric heaters powered by solar, that's 100 times better all around. It's just it makes more sense right now to get everybody to a certain base level instead of trying to get the U.S. from a relatively high level to 100% carbon free. Try to raise the floor rather than the ceiling, I guess. So yeah, that's how I feel. And it does do a conversion down here that says how much lifetime energy you're going to, or how much lifetime carbon you're going to reduce through if you leave your money in for the whole duration of the investment, which is like 25 years or something. Yeah, I think I'm super happy with this investment right now. It seems like a trivial amount. Okay, it's only like $270 a month. Seems like not a lot, but that's more than I spend on electricity. So this investment by itself is kind of canceling out my electric bill and then some, which is great if you think about it that way. I don't know. I think about like I've been trying to find a way to start a solar company in the US lately, and the more I think about it, for the reasons that I said before, the more it just makes sense for me to make money in another way, in the way that I'm already good at, like engineering, and just give it all to these guys and let them cook. Like if I made $1 million doing a regular job and then just put it all in here, that would be a huge, yeah. Then also, not only am I making like 10, 15 times more than I am now in the dividends, but also like doing so much more good for the world than if I tried to start my own company from scratch and build it from the ground up and try to do an equivalent amount, like $1 million of investment into that. So I I go back and forth. I think this is just such an easy way to make a huge difference, and I'm happy about it right now.